Today's tutorial will look at the app Explain Everything. Open that app up. Discard the previous one that was open and use the plus icon to open a brand new presentation. I'll choose the first template. To demonstrate some of the tools, I'll create a very simple presentation on the water cycle. Down here are our tools that we can use. I'll go through many of those in this tutorial. To start off with, I'll create a title for my presentation by using the text icon there. By clicking and holding, I can customize the font type and size for my presentation. I can also select the color I'd like. So you can have 3 colors entered there, but these can be changed by clicking and holding on any and choosing a different color to go in that place. So I might choose green to be one that I'll use frequently, for example. So for my title, I'll use blue. And now just tap where I'd like to put my text. And center it. Just tap on the screen, tap on my select tool if I'd like to move that, and I can now move that anywhere I'd like around the screen there. So I can put water cycle. The pen tool, click and hold again, I can change the width and pen tip, and also these would allow me to change the colors. So I'll just quickly demonstrate that. Just tap on green. If I wanted to make it wider, I could choose middle width there, and I can just simply draw on my screen. Oh, I didn't choose green. So if I'd like to delete that, there's the rubber tool, which would allow me to rubber that out. Tap on green, and then go again. Okay, there's the pen and text tool. This little icon here allows me to enter in shapes. Click and hold again, I can change my shape, add shadows and borders, etc., or just simple lines. Just like in PowerPoint or Keynote, there's the facility to have different slides as well. So if this was a title slide, I might like to enter in another slide, so I can tap on the plus icon there and it'll bring in slide 2. It might be that I'd like to illustrate or get the students to illustrate their understanding of a topic or concept like the water cycle, and so they could then do that on their presentation screen, and also they could use the recording function here to record their voice while they explain that concept. By adding in pictures that you already have, or take a picture with your camera or videos or a range of other file formats, you can add in items into your presentation. So if I go to existing photos or video and I tap on my camera roll, I already have some pictures in here already. So for example, here's a picture of the water cycle. If I tap into that and click done, by using my 2 fingers, I can then push them out and make that larger to take up my entire screen. At the moment, that can be moved quite easily, and it may be annoying if I was trying to use it as a background. So if I'd like to make it a background, or simply to lock it in place, I can do both of those things by tapping here on the eye. So I tap on the eye and then tap on the picture. You can see a range of options come up, from bringing the image forward or back to what I'd like to do, which is to set it as a background. So now that image won't move, and then I can move my mouse around the screen without moving the background. Here is also a little laser tool, which is really useful for explaining what's on the screen. If I hold that down, you can see your laser tool can be customized. So I'll just leave it as the simple red laser for now. So by pressing the record function, I could record my voice as I ran my laser around the screen and explained how the different stages of the water cycle worked to demonstrate my understanding of that concept. So it could be as quick and easy as that, putting in a picture and explaining. That picture could be from the student's workbook by using the plus and new picture facility, or it could be bringing in an image like I have from the internet. You could also go a little bit further with that. So if I create another slide, I might bring in objects individually. So I could bring in individual photos. Once again, you can see in my library here that I've got a plain background, which I could then use. Let's make that a little bit bigger, just zoom that in a bit, and tap on done. And then just using my finger, I can drag that around and move it into place. Like I did before, if I tap on the eye, and then tap on my picture, I could lock that in position so that it didn't move. I could maybe add in some individual items like clouds and the sun to demonstrate how the water cycle worked. Existing photos there, so there's a picture of the clouds. I can tap on that. I may like to get rid of the background. As you can see there, it's got its own background, so I can do that with my crop tool. If I tap on the crop, I could run my finger around the outside. I could be a lot more careful with this and get it a lot neater, but to give you the idea, if I'm happy with that, I click done and done again, and it brings those clouds in. Okay, I'll make them a lot smaller and could position them up in the appropriate part of my presentation. I may also like a picture of the sun. I didn't have one there before, so I'll just show you how you go about getting individual photos. So if I just come out of explain everything for the minute, and if I go onto Safari, and type in there sun, and go to images and look for one that I'd like to use. So that one looks good. Tap on that. Now you could go to the view image to get a larger version. I'm happy with the small version for this presentation. If I hold my finger down on that image, it gives me the option to save, and then that's in my photo library. So if I double tap on my home button on the iPad and return now to my Explain Everything app, I can add that picture there from my camera roll, and once again I can then move that around within my presentation. So this would give me a lot more a greater ability to customize and explain how the system worked. For example, I might be able to explain precipitation, press on the record button, and record my voice there explaining how the precipitation system works by drawing in the rain, just for an example. There are a lot of other features that are available in Explain Everything. If you explore a lot of these different tools, you'll find a variety of uses for it in your classroom. Once you have finished your presentation, there's a number of ways you can save that. So if it's a project that you're continuing in a future lesson, you'd want to click on this icon down here, and it would allow you to save it as a project. If you want to save that movie as a movie file, as a finished product, we could tap here, and it could be saved to your camera roll on your own iPad. But if you need it to be submitted for marking, for example, to the teacher, we come along here and tap on the More button, and within this menu there is Google Drive, where we would submit our final piece of work. Find the appropriate spot, and it could be exported there as a video file, or if you wanted to steal pictures, it could be exported as one of these other two file formats as well. Okay, so that's our introduction to Explain Everything.